Hello and welcome to the webinar on custom reports. I am Divyanshu from the customer success team working with Time Doctor since 2 years. And I am sure one of the CSMs like me would be working with you for your success with Time Doctor.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the webinar for Custom Reports. My name's Louis Ferreira, and I'm with the Tom Doctor Solutions team. In the Tom Doctor Solutions team, what we do is help develop custom and tailored solutions to help our clients with their business needs. In this case, custom reports are a byproduct of that, which is helping empowering our clients through data precision. The goal of the solutions team is to illuminate value, trends, and hidden issues within your data landscape. We craft custom reports that go beyond the surface, enabling you to enhance performance and navigate your business with confidence.
Awesome. Thank you for an exciting introduction, Louis. So, we are super excited for this webinar to tell you about one of our amazing offerings, which is custom reports. What exactly is custom reports we would be looking at? However, let's look at certain housekeeping rules. Please note that everyone's mic is muted. Use the chat box to ask questions or make comments at any time during the webinar. We will try to answer as many questions as possible during the Q&A session. And if there are any which remain unanswered, we will definitely be getting back to you. Now let's look at the agenda for today. We want to walk you through some of the top custom reports we've created for some of our customers to show you what exactly is possible and hopefully spark some ideas on ways we can further customize Time Doctor to meet your specific needs. Four reports that we would be looking at today are billable, non-billable hours report, budget pacing report, process mapping report, and IP location report. Then we will be moving towards the custom report request process, how you can request the custom reports for yourself, and the Q&A session at the end. Let's look at understanding what custom reports is and what do you get out of it. These reports are more than just documents. They embody our commitment to your success, guiding you toward uncharted opportunities and revealing workflows and processes that may have been overlooked. They promote a proactive approach, offering the potential for organization and enhancement of your operations. What do you gain out of them? Enhancing productivity and efficiency, enabling more flexible work, and customized and tailored experience. Let's look at these reports one by one. The first on the chart is billable and non-billable hours report. This report helps you differentiate and envision the hours tracked by your users and Which of those hours are billable and non-billable? With this report, you increase visibility and accuracy while billing your clients. The second is budget pacing report. The budget pacing report allows you to set a budget different from a campaign's daily budget across multiple campaigns and see if you're on track to spend it. Tracking spend against a budget goal is common need for many users and organizations. Process mapping report is the third on the chart. This report helps outline the individual steps within a process, identifying task owners and detailing expected timelines. They are particularly helpful in communicating processes among stakeholders and revealing areas of improvement. Fourth, but not the last, is IP location report. At a glance, user location is determined using the device IP address, which is mapped to the general location of the user, giving you understanding if the user is where they informed or are supposed to be. A bit of a humble brag for us, but we are the only solution in the market that offers this kind of service with the reports. As Louis mentioned, we just don't do a data dump. Our goal is to give you the data with the tools that surface the insights and solutions. Now, I would request Louis to take over and share the reports and their look and feel. Thank you.
Thank you for that intro, Devi. So now I will share the reports that Devi has explained and give you a walkthrough of what these reports look like and how we put them together and which business cases they have helped our clients achieve. So the first report we'll be looking at is our billable and non-billable hours report. The use case comes in is to help clients with their business needs into more accurately and effectively being able to bill their clients for specific projects and tasks that are assigned to them. The way we were able to do this in this report is to map out the exact start and end times per day per project, and in turn being able to give you a productivity evaluation by your projects and tasks, which shows you an overview percentage of how productive or non-productive the product and tasks your users are working on, but in turn also allows you to see which of those projects and tasks are billable and non-billable and what the percentage is between those two. What this effectively helps us to do is give us a drill down on what your top billable tasks are, but more effectively giving you a complete breakdown of each individual task that is being worked on by your users and whether they are considered productive or non-productive, and billable or non-billable. What this helps us do in the complete sense is that clients are able to see where specific billable and non-billable tasks are being measured and whether more productivity or more users need to be shifted to be able to work more productively on billable task, thus increasing not only the productivity of the specific projects and tasks that are being worked on, but also increasing the tasks that are spent on more billable and giving that full outcome of that billable tasks to be able to bill their clients more accurately and more effectively. The second report we have for you is our budget pacing report. What we have been able to do in this business use case is differentiate billable and non-billable task per client, but also being able to see the percentage of which users are working on which non-billable and billable tasks as an overview. From this overview, are able to calculate the time tracked per specific project and task and whether those tasks are billable and not billable. Another exciting metric that we have been able to add to this custom report is the capacity utilization. What this does is measure the users that are working on billable tasks and dependent on the hours that they are estimated to work on billable tasks weekly, how effectively or how many hours have they actually worked towards those billable tasks, giving them the utilization percentage of where they are, and thus also allowing our clients to preemptively move internal resources around if they need to increase or decrease utilization being used on specific tasks. The next part of this report is the most important part, which is the budget pacing. The way this is done is that based on a user's employee pay rate and the billable tasks that they are working on, clients can set budgets to see if they are on track to be within budget, over budget, or under budget for specific billable tasks. This allows clients to preemptively change resources around or priorities to make sure that they are always meeting their budgets and hence improving their productivity and billing processes when it comes to pacing the budget for specific billable tasks. The way we achieve some of this data is to take the allocated hours that are allocated per specific billable tasks versus the hours that are actually worked on those specific tasks. And in this, we are also able to see if further resources are needed to bring down those specific times. If more hours are being worked, then what should be allocated to an actual billable task. Another interesting combination within this report is that for a specific business use case, like in this term that we had from one of our clients who use a third party vendor called ClickUp, we were able to also pull in that specific data from that vendor and be able to visualize that data in the same report to see if those specific tasks are meeting deadline, have no deadline, or on late, thus producing an overview look on exactly what is happening and being able to allow our clients to shift those resources to be able to identify if any projects and tasks are going to be late and whether they can move resources around or improve their budget pacings to allow to accommodate for these deadlines. Another thing we have in this report is the time estimate versus time track comparison per project. So, what you're able to do here is give a time estimate that should be spent on specific projects, as well as monitor the actual hours that are being worked on those billable projects to give you an idea of where you are in comparison to the hours that should be worked on it and how many hours have been worked on it to make sure that your budget pacing is on track.
This is amazing. These two reports looked amazing with tons of actionable data available at your fingertips. I think we will be looking at the other reports. However, wanted to understand which of the reports did you like the most so far? I can see somebody saying billable hours report. Let us move forward with the next set of reports with Louis. Thank you.
Thank you, Divyanshu. So the next report that we have, which is quite a good innovation for us, is our process mapping report. What this allows us to do is map the process that it takes to complete a specific task. Not only that, but it captures the applications that are used in those specific processes to complete those tasks. By mapping this process, we are able to allow clients to identify if there are any blockers that might be where specific applications that are not actually productive are being used to complete tasks that might be making them take longer than they should take, or by also seeing if there's specific growth that is needed or training that is needed for specific users within in their business units to be able to work more effectively to complete projects on time. Another nifty feature that this custom report allows us to do is be able to identify which apps are actually productive to completing specific processes and tasks, which allows our clients to see which apps are not so productive and allows them internally to align those processes to be able to be more efficient in completing their specific projects and tasks while using the correct applications, and also, if necessary, increasing profitability by removing applications that are not needed in their processes or that add no additional value to that. Finally, we come to our last report, which is our IP location report. This IP location report was built from a use case where a client wanted to identify where their users were based and what their organization looked like geographically. What we have been able to do with that experiment is be able to enhance that report so that we are not only able to provide a complete geographical outlook of what your organization looks like, but in terms of if you have remote distributed teams that are working from home and working from the office, you will be able to see where your users are, what your top countries that they work in are, and what percentage of those users are working from the office and working from home. What this allows you to see in your full organizational view of your business is if your distributed teams are working not only from where they are supposed to be working, but if you have any scheduled adherences with hybrid teams, where, for instance, your users need to be in the office on certain days and be at home from other days, you can actually see if those scheduled adherences are being kept to. What we were always also able to do is plot exactly how many of those users on a daily are working from home and working from office, and also give you the raw data of the exact IP locations and based on that, the country that they are working in, and that segregation of whether those users are working from home or working from the office. We have the daily view that gives you that information up front. But what we are also able to do is store the historical view of that specific data. So when going back, you will be able to see what their work relationship with working from home or working from the office looks like, as well as if there has been any change in countries, etc. Another nifty thing that we have been able to do and enhance on this report from the original use case is to see what the difference is in productivity between your work from home users and your work from office users. The way we are able to do this is to take the applications that use our productivity ratings within the Time Doctor web app and be able to see between your work from home users and work from office users where is the most productive time and where is the most unproductive time, as well as giving you those averages between that. You're also able to filter this through applications and through groups and specific users over various date ranges. Another breakdown we have is to see which are your top most productive apps and your top most unproductive apps between your work from home and work from office users. In this way, you are able to identify what are the most productive apps that are your users are using to work from home and what are the most unproductive apps that they're using to work from home as well as work from the office. In this way, you'll be able to gauge exactly where discrepancies are lying and be able to then rectify those within those business units, whether your users are working from home or working from the office, and be able to have a more productive, streamlined, whether your distributor teams are at home or in the office. Another important metric that we have been able to add in this context is your idle time. Usually, idle time is calculated on your web app, but in this custom report, what we have been able to do is take your idle time and split that between what is your productive idle time and what is your unproductive idle time, which means how much or the percentage of your idle time is spent on productive or unproductive websites, and what that contrast looks like between your work from office and work from home users. In that, we have also been able to give a full detailed outline of exactly the users, whether they're working from home or the office, which applications they've been working on, and not only their total working time and total idle time, but also being able to split those metrics down into what of those are productive, unproductive, neutral, and unrated based on the productivity ratings that you have assigned on your account. So that's it for our custom report showcase, and I will hand it back to Divi now. But thank you, and I hope this has been informative in seeing the visualizations of what we are able to do with custom reports.
Thank you so much, Louis. These were really, really informative, and I'm sure all of these reports mean a lot to everybody. However, I would like to ask which of these four reports excite you the most and you feel immensely benefit? And this is a question for all our audiences. And while everybody is answering, what I feel, Louis, is our IP location report is amazing because it really extensively gives great benchmarking analysis along with comparative insights between in-office and hybrid teams, along with analysis on the application usage and everything. So I loved it all the more, and I would always, rate billable as the second of my most favorite reports. Let's see what the audiences have to say. We give them another 30 seconds. Should we have the answers by now? Oh, okay, awesome. So we have two reports which have been loved the most. One is billable and non-billable, and process mapping report, which is amazing. Thank you so much for your insights. Now we move forward towards the section wherein we will see that what is the process of requesting for your favorite custom report. So the process that we follow is pretty simple. All you need to do is fill out the form which is now going to be available in the chat. Okay, and then what you need to do is you just have to wait for one of our the CSMs to go ahead and follow up with you and fix up a meeting with the solutions team expert, just like Louis. And the communication that you are going to have with them is to understand what is the scope of that particular report and what are the timelines that will be taken. So estimated turnaround time would be between 2 to 3 weeks after the scoping has been done. And whatever the custom pricing would be, it will definitely depend upon the scope and functionality of the report and the number of hours or days that the team is going to put in. So, with this, we thank you for your time and really hope this webinar was informative and gave you insights on what more Time Doctor can do for you in form of custom reports. Please feel free to email us or use the form shared on chat, and we will be going ahead and getting in touch with you. If in case you have any questions, apart from the questions that we have currently on our list, please go ahead and send us a email. However, at this point of time, we see a few questions which we have, and Louis would be the best to answer these ones because these are certain technical questions. Louis.
Yes, so thank you for that, Divi. And thank you, Antonio, for your question. So, regards to your question, how do we determine which projects and tasks are billable? Is that in the process that we would have with clients and identifying the scope, we would get those specific billable projects from the clients. And in the back end, what we would able to do is be able to tag those specific projects as billable. And hence, when we pull them into the report, what we were also able to do is then identify them between the billable and non-billable projects. So what we are able to do is add a tag. For instance, if you have specific tasks that will always be billable, we are able to automatically then pull them into the report if there is a specific tag, or if it's in the specific customer need where they only need specific projects and tasks to be billable, we will manually do that from the back end and import it into the report so that those specific values can show correctly.
We have the second question, which says for the billable hours report, is it possible to automatically send these reports to clients for invoicing?
Yes, so I'll take that one as well. So, on that, yes, it is. We are able to schedule these reports to be sent to specific email addresses. So, in that way, we are able to schedule it for different clients, for different groups, etc. And we are able to schedule that on a specific schedule, whether it's daily, weekly, every 2 weeks, which is what most of our clients invoice in. We are able to input those schedules within the custom reports and send those out for invoicing purposes if required.
The next is how does the IP location report work if the user is using a VPN?
Thanks for that question, Christy, and I'll be more than willing to answer that. So, the way we currently use the IP location report is that we can take, for instance, if your organization uses a specific date range or IP range within your organization, we are able to map, for instance, your work from office to your inbound DNS server IP to make sure that only that is getting captured as work from office, for instance. And if a client is working from home and they're using a segregated IP, what we will be able to do from the historical IP is that usually when you log in and you start tracking, you will have an IP, and when you switch to a VPN, your IP will change. So from that, we are able to see the difference in the historical view to be able to identify if a user is maybe using a VPN to change where they are working from. But if not, we just generally take the IP address that's allocated and present that as the working from home users. But we are always able to determine if a VPN might be being used in that case.
That's really interesting. So the next is, could you elaborate on the technology stack used to create the process mapping report? Is it capable of integrating with project management software like Jira and Asana?
Yes, so Deep, thank you for that question. I'll also be answering that one. So, the technology stack that we currently use to create this is in our backend, we have something called BigQuery, and the front end visualization, which I showed you in the beginning, is called Lucas Studio. So, that is what we use to visualize that data. So, when it comes to the capability of integrating with project management software like Jira or Asana, etc., we are able to do that in various ways. Either we can map the specific report in a format that is easily exportable from the Looker Studio report and importable into Jira, or like for instance, on our budget pacing reports, we are actually able, with certain third party software, be able to take that software like in ClickUp and be able to directly integrate that into the custom report so you're able to see that. But also, touching on that note, Time Doctor currently within the app has over 60 plus integrations that use a native Chrome extension that can be tracked on project management software like Jira or Asana. And with Jira, we have currently a two-way integration with that Chrome extension. So what that means is we are able to send that data within Tom Doctor and back into Jira, and we are obviously able to import that within the custom reports as well.
Awesome. Another question that we have is, how does the IP location report maintain data privacy while providing location based insights?
Thank you, Dennis, for your question. So, within data privacy, all our GCP and Lucas Studio um, products go through infosec processes firstly to ensure that our third party has identified and correctly, given us the certification for specific data privacy to make sure that there are no data breaches in the actual environment. But when it comes to the actual reports, reports are mitigated in a way where each specific report is tailored for a specific company. So no other company within our system will be able to see your reports. And the way we also establish that access to that report is that on a per request basis, we will add specific email addresses to access that report unless they are embedded into your web app, which means that you have to have a Time Doctor account within that company to view that report, or your email address would have to be authorized by your Spock and handed to us in order to give access to that report. So no link will be able to just be opened without an actual authentication process.
Awesome. And there is one question which is for me, finally, which is, what's the typical turnaround time for developing a custom report? Thank you, Anonymous. So the typical time is 2 to 3 weeks from the day that we have scoped the requirement and understood that what exactly is the report that we are looking at. So it would be 2 to 3 weeks from then. Thank you. Then we have another question. Again, this will be for Louis from Deep. Can revisions be made to custom reports after they have been created? And is there any additional charge for that?
So, to answer that question, and thank you for that, Deep, yes, revisions can be made to custom reports. So, our custom reports is, in the name itself, quite customizable. So, not only are we able to customize the outlook and the specific data that you want, we are able to add in and subtract any, for instance, data or specific calculations that you require. And obviously, depending on this and depending on the scope and breadth of the revisions that you want, there might be an additional charge. But usually, if it's a few rows of data, which normally we have is 10 data points. So if you within those 10 data points, there would be no additional charge for that work. But if the revisions are quite complex, then that will obviously go into a conversation with your CSMs, and we can work around if there are any additional charges for that type of revision.
Thank you so much, Louis. So, with this, I think we come to an end of all the questions and have been answered. If there is any more question that any of you would have, please feel free to get in touch with us on the email that is going to be shown in a moment to you. And please feel free to get in touch with your respective CSMs to go ahead and have further inquiry into your custom report, and we can also talk and discuss about any additional reports that you may be looking at. If in case any of these apart from the four that we have showcased and you feel the need of anything extra, please feel free to get in touch and we will be giving you further information about it. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, everyone, and we hope you this webinar was valuable for you, and look forward to working with you on your custom report requirements.
Thank you.